Good morning guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the 2019 RAV4. This car is competing in the medium size SUV market and is up against the like of the Honda CR-V, the VW Tiguan. Now RAV4, that used to stand for Rugged Activity Vehicle, and they've changed that. Now what do you think it stands for? Press pause and put in the comments down below and I'll tell you in a minute. You probably got it wrong. RAV, what does that stand for? It stands for Robust Accurate Vehicle. What on earth does that mean? Accurate? That doesn't sound very exciting. But never mind. The 4 in it, by the way, stands for four-wheel drive. If we look at the side of the car, it's in this rather fetching blue metallic. It's got a slight fleck to it. It's about a £600 option, but looks fantastic. Up the top, we've got roof bars fitted. We've got the indicators now. Wheels on this, they come as standard with 18-inch, and I think they look pretty good. There are a few other optional extras. We've got the most important bit, hybrid, because that is complete game changer for this car. If we look at the front of this car, we've got the LED lights. These are standard across the range. Now Toyota have been renowned across the years for being very, very safety conscious, and that is certainly true with this model. We've got a small camera down here. Now that's used for the 360-degree camera to help with parking because it's quite a big car, but it also helps with the lane assist, which comes as standard, the active cruise control. I think that's a really, really nice feature to have. We're going to have a look around the back because boot size is absolutely critical with this sort of car. So if you want to follow me around the back. Having a car like the RAV4 is about practicality and certainly boot space. You've either got a button you can press underneath or on the key, which will hold down. This does take a while. Just chat amongst yourselves for a minute. When it does open, you've got 590 litres of space, and that's a good amount. You can easily fit a couple of weeks shopping in there, chuck all your kids stuff in, so that's absolutely fantastic. Now we've got this cover here, and this is a really, really clever design idea that Toyota have come up with. You can unclip that, but what do you do with it? Well, there's this little underfloor trap here. Take out these plastic covers, we'll put them down there. They come out. Now this very cleverly just goes under there, and now you can fit your best friend in the back. But we all know what it's like owning dogs, especially when they get wet and they absolutely stink, and this furry floor would get absolutely covered. Turn it over. This is, well, I think this is genius, and it's a white proof flooring on there, so now you can flip it over and it's very, very dog friendly. If you've got more stuff to carry around, we can drop the back seats and fold down that side, so it's a 60-40 split. Fold down this side and you've got around 1200 litres of storage, and well, that's a lot of room in there. Just in terms of other practical bits, we've got 4 hooks to tie things in. We've got another 12-volt power supply and a light. Great. One quite cool little feature, well, I think it's cool, maybe a bit geeky. If you grab the handle, start pulling it, it knows it's electric, and eventually it goes down. So great. Hopping into the back of the RAV4 is incredibly easy. We've got nice low sills so you can step into this car, and my first opinion is there's loads of legroom. The driver's seat and the passenger seat are set where I'd have them. I'm 6 foot, so it gives you a bit of context. We've got a good amount of room in front of me, so I'm not going to be squishing my knees on a longer journey. Centre seat as well, you could fit someone there quite happily. You are slightly raised up and you've got this transmission tunnel, but generally very nice. In the middle we've got 2 air vents. We've also got 2 USB ports, so it's perfect for charging your phone or other mobile devices. One thing, I don't know why they've done this, is a bit strange. Get your iPad, you put it in the back of the pocket for safekeeping. That's fine, unless you're sitting over this side. There's nowhere to put it. Why on earth that is the case, it really couldn't have cost that much to put another one on there. If we look here, we've got an armrest, 2 cup holders, Another slight strange thing is you'd expect like a ski hatch to put skis or whatever longer items to go all the way through, but there's a bit of fabric in the way. Don't know, maybe it's an optional extra. We've got two, I would say cup holders, but they're not actually cup holders, they're bottle holders. There's even a sign down here that says no cups, and that's perfect. You put your bottles in there. Kids will love putting bits of chocolate, crisps, and you'll find them about 6 months later. But anyone, I think, in the back here, adults, kids, perfect. So let's hop in the front and see what it's like there. It's time to actually take this car out on the road, and I've got a friend of mine, Will, and he's coming along for a second opinion. So let's buckle up, wait for this engine to roar into life.
That's it, it's roared.
It's roared. It's a hybrid, remember, and foot down and...
It's unnervingly quiet.
Yeah. The sound of silence. Now we're out on the open road, we can find out a little bit more about what this car's like and have a chat about the practicalities. Now, when you start this car, it's silent.
It is. It really is very, very, very quiet, but it's got no noise.
And that's something you get with either an electric car or a hybrid, and in this case it's a recharging, self-recharging hybrid, which is different. You will see PHEVs, which means they're the ones you have to plug into your mains, but this will, as it says, self-charge when you're braking. It will recharge using regenerative braking. It's all very, very clever, but it's not something, luckily, you need to work out yourself. You don't have to be a computer genius to program this thing, and you put your foot down and it feels like any other car, really.
Well, from a level of convenience, I think that's great. You don't have to worry about taking out the socket and plugging it in overnight or breaking up your journeys. But I think it kind of lets itself down. Once you've got past the electric motors and the engine kicks in, the CVT gearbox, I just don't like it. There's no excitement.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to. It's the sort of, well, it's the most efficient gearbox you can get. Well, it's not really a gearbox, it's all a bit complicated really, but Google what is a CVT and that will give you a better explanation. But yeah, it hasn't got gears.
Yeah, I think if you're not looking to tear around back lanes and what have you, it's probably fine. It's adequate. It's not going to be fun, but it'll get you from A to B, and it'll do it in a comfortable manner.
Yeah.
Which brings us on to the other point. The comfort in this, I think, is great.
Yeah, it's exceptional, really, for a car in this class. You know, for a £35,000 car, it's relatively quiet. It's comfy. These seats are, we were saying, certainly in the front, and even also in the back.
So the back's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both 6 foot. You'd get 3 of us in there and 2 in the front with the seats in appropriate places. You know, we didn't have to move our seats at all to get in the back and still have inches of clearance.
Yeah, it was lovely, and especially if it's a family car, you could put your dog in the back quite easily, kids in the back, and just, we could put the kids in the boot. No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
And just, yeah, it's just a nice, practical family car at the end of the day, with a bit of off-roading capability if you want to.
Well, I was reading on that. This, in particular, being the EV model, the hybrid model, has a dedicated trail mode, which apparently will allow you to go off-road with a great deal of confidence. We don't have the ability to prove or disprove that, but it's an interesting point. I don't really know who's going to be buying this. Is it a farmer needing to get to the other end of their field, in which case they're more likely to buy a Land Rover,
Yeah.
or a bigger Japanese 4x4, the Shogun, for example. But that aside, for a family car, it'll probably do everything for you, apart from the sportiness that it says it gives you, a sporty mode.
Yeah, it does give you a sports mode, which is says it will be more exciting, and the throttle response is supposed to be better.
Neither of which we've been able to.
No, I haven't managed.
Has this person died? What's going on?
I don't know. Oh, a little brake.
Nice.
Yeah, at the moment I don't get this sporty vibe necessarily. The dials change colour, but I don't feel I want to drive this quickly. It doesn't lend itself to that. I don't think you'd buy this to be a sports car.
No.
It doesn't feel like that, and I don't want to drive it like that. This 2019 RAV4 has been designed from the ground up, and it's using something they've called the New Toyota Global Architecture. And that's a generic platform they're using across all of their new cars. So it originally came out with the Toyota Prius, then it went into obviously this car, and it's in the brand new Corolla. That gives lots of benefits, because if you get a decent platform, it means in theory you should have, well, all of your cars that use the platform should be quite good. Yeah, I know other manufacturers do exactly the same thing, and if you have to design a car brand new platform every single time, you'll spend, well, this would probably be a £100,000 car and no one would buy it. But yeah, overall I think they've done, well, it's just generally very, very good. Behind the wheel, I must say, it's quite a comfy place. It's quite a nice place to be, and that's certainly something Toyota have got right. I think on a long journey you'd be pretty happy behind the wheel. The two main bits of tech I like, and it's very useful on longer journeys, you've got lane assist, so that keeps you in lane automatically, and you've got active cruise control. Now that works in a slightly more advanced way than standard cruise control. You've got a radar on the front monitoring traffic in front of you, so if you've got it on 70 miles an hour on a motorway, the traffic in front of you slows down, it will also slow you down and keep a safe distance from the car in front. So yeah, longer journeys, that is a very nice feature to have. Basic controls again on the steering wheel, you've got cruise controls you can change there, you've got voice control as well as on this car, which I haven't tried just yet, but we all know what happens. You tell it to do something and in theory it should tell you.
With your voice sometimes.
Yeah, no, it hasn't liked me in many cars, which is, well, I don't mind. We've got buttons on here. So the infotainment system, Will, can I hand you over to have a look?
Actually, the infotainment system's pretty decent. In this car it's JBL, which I've always seen as a not entirely high-end system for, you know, the portable speakers and that sort of stuff. I've never ever seen it built into a car, and they've done a pretty decent job. Speakers in all four doors. It's a touchscreen system. It will also show you where the power is going to and coming from, whether you're regenerating your battery or sucking the engine dry. Below that is your aircon arena. It's all pretty well laid out. The dashboard itself has pretty decent quality to look at. Certainly, it's probably not leather, but it might be. But it's decent enough, and it's got a soft touch to it, which is nice to see. The door has something like 5 different types of plastic in it. Make what you will of that.
Value for money in plastics.
Lots of plastic. It is very well put together though. It's a very decent car for the money, I think. The seating position is excellent. You get to see very much of what's going on around you. The seats, as we touched on already, are very comfortable, even in the back. Very, very comfortable. It's a good amount of space for a good sized family.
Yeah, it's all very, like you were saying, it feels relatively well put together. All of it's the touch points, I think, where they've spent a bit more money. Like you're saying, the dash, the steering wheel, but then it's further down. You've got scratchy plastics, but I don't think that matters as much. I'd rather have better where you're touching than lower down. Obviously, driven some cars recently, very expensive cars, where you get Alcantara on the roof. Which, we didn't get that. That was a waste of time.
You don't need that, really.
No. So yeah, overall, I think they've done a good job. Everything's laid out well.
Yeah, there's oodles of room in here. So we're both 6 foot, and without moving the seats from where we are now, which is a very nice, comfortable riding position, we were able to sit very, very comfortably with loads of room in front of our knees in the back. You could fit 3 of us in the back, easily. So it's a really decent sized family car. Yes, it's not exciting. Yes, it won't set your world on fire necessarily. But if you have dog, family, kids, shopping, all the rest of it, this will see you right.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the toys too. So back to the entertainment system, there's a built-in 360-degree top-down camera system. And we could see earlier that you can see around you in much the same way that BMW does. So you can see where the lines of your parking space are, for example, or how close you are to that curb. Very, very clever technology coming down now into the price bracket that makes a lot more sense for a lot of people.
Yeah, it means that this modern technology that was only available in your £100,000 car is in your mid-range bracket, and it's becoming affordable to everyone.
And they're doing a really good job of it. It is a nice place to sit.
I think the joy of this being a hybrid as well, we've got low tax. I think it's like £130 a year or something really low. So the benefit in kind for people who get company cars, it's going to be low. And I could see this being quite a good. Any of these hybrids, I think are becoming quite popular with company cars now.
Well, the convenience of this one is that you don't have to plug it in.
Yes, that's nice. Certainly where I live, it's not the same for everyone. I don't have a garage. I'd have to run an extension cable
over the pavement
across the road. Yeah, and that wouldn't work for me. I'm sure with you could run it cable somewhere and it might work, but for me, no. Unfortunately, it just wouldn't work. In terms of cubby holes and places to put things, there's quite a few. We've got these door bins on either side, but it does have a little mark on it that says not a cup holder, which is sort of understandable. You end up sloshing drinks everywhere, and they're actually a reasonable size. We've got a centre console with a couple of USB sockets in there, I think it was.
Yep.
Chucked plenty of rubbish in there. We've actually got two proper cup holders here. Some storage.
Basically somewhere to put the key.
Yeah, you can chuck the key in there, and again, there's another USB and an auxiliary in.
Yes, for the old school.
Yeah, exactly. So we're keeping that. But there are some unusual touches in here, which I don't know what you'd quite keep in there. We've got.
Well, right in front of me, for example, is a glove box which opens 4 inches. That's got things for the dash cam in it at the moment. But it's not something that you'd be able to make great use of if you have a passenger my height or more. But above that is a really strange shelf. It's just an open area, which is not. It's not in any way square. I've no idea what you'd put in there. If you put any paperwork in there, it would be in the floor immediately.
Yeah.
If you put your phone in there, any corner you come to, it's just going to throw it from one side to the other.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what that would be used for.
Same over this side. I've got this really small cubby hole that wouldn't fit a phone. Maybe one of the, if you remember we're showing our age, the good old style Nokia.
Or the flip tops.
Oh, the little miniature ones about this big, yeah, the old, or even a flip phone. That would fit in there. But again, that would fly out as soon as you went anyway. So, again, I really don't know what that's about. I'm sure someone will put in the comments down below, what on earth would you fit under there and in this little cubby hole here?
There is, of course, a small tray that in there, which I guess you could put, I don't know, keys, money,
Sweets.
Camera bits, batteries, and things like that.
Some Werther's Originals.
Some Werther's Originals, maybe. But otherwise, some odd stuff going on.
Yeah, but generally I'd say, yeah, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? There's some Toyota.
There's great practicality and some strangeness.
Yes, it's like down here we've got the traction control button, so you can turn that off right next to the heated seat button. So when you press your heated seat, and obviously you should be looking
that on a winter's day.
Yeah, exactly.
Climb a tree.
So I don't know why that is. Why is that there? Yeah, it seems a bit out of place. I would have put it possibly down here with the driving modes. And it's the same when you open the boot as well. You've got, or the petrol cap. Sorry, you've got your petrol cap release right next to the bonnet. Yeah, so you go into the petrol station, pull it, your bonnet flies up, and then you think, oh, I haven't opened it. You ping it, and then it opens the petrol cap. Drive down the road, your bonnet's open, and then oh dear. So yeah, but it's a talking point, I suppose.
Well, it certainly is for this video. The what do you call these? Sun visors have mirrors that have a slidey cover on them, and as you open that, a light comes on above.
Yeah.
Amazing spring, just for the sake of the video.
It's like a mousetrap, just take your fingers off.
They engineered that spring.
So yeah, I've got one as well, so I can, as I should be doing when I'm driving, I can stare at myself as well.
Well, you can't actually, because the light doesn't come on if the sun visor is all the way forward. It will only come on if it is pointing at a relative pitch to be able to look into. So if I have all the way forward and then try opening, the light stays off.
It's a clever bit
Little things.
It's an unusual thing, isn't it? I think we've only just discovered that.
I don't know if that's of any benefit or detriment to anything. It's just a quirk.
A buying decision that someone had to buy because of.
Yeah, if that's your buying decision, the buying decision, then this is the car for you.
We're coming to the end of our time with this RAV4, and I want to say a massive thank you to SLM Toyota in Uckfield. But to summarise, Will, what's your opinion?
I would not be unhappy with this car. It's personally, I prefer something with real gears, even an automatic with real gears. But it's not been designed for that sort of use. It's massive inside. There's loads of room. We're both 6 foot. We easily got in the back without moving the seats forwards. You could get 3 of us in the back, plus 2 in the front. If you've got mates who play rugger, you've got loads of room in the boot to throw stuff in there. And you'll get all your burly mates down to the pub.
Yeah.
Or you can throw your entire family, dog, kids, grandmother, everything into this and not worry about it. And it's so comfortable.
Yeah, no, I agree. And from a driving point of view, it's a nice place to be behind this wheel. Long journey, I think, it'd be so easy. It would eat up on the motorway. And generally everything's laid out well, and I'm quite happy to drive this. I wouldn't want to drive it, as you were saying. It's not a sports car. It's not even slightly aimed at that. But it's just generally a nice place to be.